Now, you all sending questions for this edition of the Q&A. If you guys have questions for me, description box down below with all the details on how you can send them. Snowdrop asks, would Garbage Man Eric Rowan's catchphrase be, it's garbage day or time to take out the trash? Oh, time to take out the trash, man. That shit's so cheesy, and that sounds like something a superhero would say, so definitely time to take out the trash would be Garbage Man Eric Rowan's catchphrase. And really, to be honest, man, they need to do that Garbage Man Eric Rowan gimmick. I mean, seriously. It's better than what he's doing now, being a stalker for Renee Young. Oh, God. Waluigi asks, to piss off that racist prick from your last Q&A, aka Loney Low, what if they had a gimmick where some racist dumbass would come out and make the same comments that idiot did, then it got destroyed by guys like Kofi, Biggie, and Xavier Woods, etc.? To me, man, I get it. You know, those racist comments piss me off too, but I wouldn't want to see the dude get his ass kicked by those people. Instead, what I would do to make it more impactful is I would have it where Biggie, Xavier Woods, and Kofi come out and they talk to that guy and they make that guy not a racist anymore through his words. How crazy would that be? Instead of showing that black people are angry all the time and they'll just beat the shit out of you, you have it where they intellectually out-intellect a white person. How fucking sick would that be? That would be more of an ownage than any fucking beatdown. So that's what I would do instead of a beatdown. So I would say destroy the guy, but destroy the guy with his words instead of destroying the guy physically, if you get what I'm saying. Largest 85 asks, what if WWE gave Randy Orton an 80s gimmick where he came out to 80 clothes and shit? I don't think it would work whatsoever. Would it get Randy Orton over? I mean, when you look at Randy Orton, you see him and he's like, oh, he screams an 80s guy? No, I don't look at Randy Orton and scream. This guy fits perfectly in the 1980s. So it wouldn't work, my man. Railroad Herald asks, Railroad Herald Q&A. What if WWE gave Ryback a dancing gimmick like they did with Brodus Clay? Asked by Railroad Herald. Oh, God. That would just kill Ryback's career. Could you imagine Ryback, instead of doing this for Feed Me More, he comes out doing the Brodus Clay dance? Like, oh, God. Yeah, that would just kill any career that Ryback had left in him, just like it killed Brodus Clay's WWE career. The Chase Allen asks, what if Daniel Bryan never had the yes and no chance? Would he still be over in the WWE? And if not, where would you see him? Oh yeah, I think Daniel Bryan would still have been over without the yes or no chance, just because fans been waiting for a long time to see this dude succeed. So I think he still would have been over. The yes and no chance help identify Daniel Bryan, help give him a catchphrase, and help identify what his character is about. That's really all the yes and no chance did. But really, to be honest, I still think he would have been an over superstar. That's just my opinion. Lace Up Graveyard asks, do you believe the New Day promo is just a swerve to form a new dominant alliance? WWE isn't this stupid. I would love it if it was a swerve, man. I would. But for some reason, I don't think this is a swerve. I just don't. I just don't whatsoever. And to be honest, I could just see it where they come out and they still do this jiving and jigging bullshit, singing on a microphone, doing all this weird dancing, and people are going to hate it. But I'll tell you what, Lace Up Graveyard, I will tell you what, guarantee you, so many people will hate it when it first happens, but soon enough, 2 months later, choo-choo, that bandwagon train of the New Day faction, everyone will jump around on it and say, the New Day is so entertaining and so funny, and they will just change your opinions on it, because that's what happens sometimes with wrestling fans. They'll hate a gimmick at first. They'll say, this gimmick is the most stupidest idea ever. Like, look at Bad News Barrett. Everyone hated Bad News Barrett. I was one of the only few people on YouTube that said, man, that's actually a funny gimmick. I like what Wade Barrett is doing. And everyone's like, man, how did Wade Barrett get stuck with such a shitty gimmick? All of a sudden, oh, I love Bad News Barrett now. He's fucking awesome. No, you said you hated the gimmick. Why all of a sudden are you loving it? I'm telling you right now, the New Day gimmick, I already hate it. And it's never going to change. Just like I hate Stardust, and that's never going to change. I'm one of those wrestling fans where my opinion changes only on certain occasions. This shit right here, the New Day, my opinion will never change on it. I would love it to fucking swerve, but I highly doubt the WWE is smart enough to swerve us all with this. I think there's still going to be a jiving, juking fucking faction, and the fans at first will hate it, but all of a sudden they will change their opinions and they will fucking love it. Just the truth. That's how wrestling fans are. So, yeah, I don't think it's a swerve. Paul Markalonis asks, your reaction to Shockmaster's debuting with arms crossed. Tito Ortiz. As Scott Steiner announces that, and then T-Funk mask in the ring. Tito Ortiz. You have to put Tito Ortiz comes out arms crossed with no reaction. CM Punk fan ask, are wrestling fans the only fans who would pay for something they don't like? No, because I think there's video game fans and sports fans that also pay for shit they don't like. I mean, video game fans, sometimes they pay for video games they don't like. They're just paying them just so that they just pay for that game just so that way they can play it for a review or something like that. So really, to be honest, I don't think it's just wrestling fans. I also think it's other forms of media and entertainment that you also pay for shit they don't like. So yeah, it's not just them. James Isabel asks, what are some things annoys you on YouTube or the YWC? Oh, some things that annoys me on YouTube. Just YouTube in general. YouTube annoys me, man. The whole fucking way to upload your videos, the tags, and all that other crap. That shit's just annoying. In the YWC, my biggest complaint about the YWC is always like, you know, we have to have the same opinion. Like, you can't have an opinion in the YWC most of the time. Like, that's just the thing. Like, because let's all face it, everyone that's a fan of my channel, y'all know I'm not the typical IWC, YWC member. I'm not the guy that's like, flips and kicks, I love indie wrestling. Oh shit, Daniel Bryan's my favorite in the world. Like, I'm not the typical YWC guy. Like, I bet you with so many motherfuckers probably watched my channel for the first time and they heard, yeah, Randy Orton's my favorite wrestler, or I like Ryback. They're like, what is wrong with this motherfucker? Like, I bet you that's so many people's fucking reaction of me when they first saw my channel. Like, this guy likes different wrestlers? What the fuck is this guy's problem? So, it's just that, you know, I've had people who have accepted my opinion, even though they don't agree with me 100% of the time. They do like that I bring some entertainment value to, you know, my videos, and they like that I am very loud and very rambunctious, and I state my opinion how I believe it is, and they don't care that I don't like their favorite wrestlers or whatever. So it's really cool when I can meet people that actually appreciate my opinion, but don't go out of the way to just bash it. I just feel in the IWC and YWC, especially in the members side of things, like, if you're a member of the YWC and you don't share an opinion with a certain member, it's just like you start feuding for no fucking reason. Like, you start having arguments. Like, I feel like there's some people that just don't like me because I don't share the same opinion as them, or that I'm just so much more negative about wrestling today than other people, when it's just like, look, man, if anything, I'm somewhat more positive than half of the other members in the YWC. I just state what I feel is true to my heart. I'm not going to be someone different. I'm not going to be someone else. I want to be myself when I make these videos. If I'm not making these videos and being myself, I'll just be done. That's just the honest truth. So, for one thing I hate about the YWC is just that it feels like you can't let your opinion out there most of the time. I do, but I just feel like most of the time if you let out an opinion that is not popular, you're most likely not going to be liked, which I think is just bullshit. Stephen Bradley asked, Q&A. Are you still doing Q&A since I went to basic training? I graduate Thursday, and how was the WWE been since I've left? Well, congratulations to you, Stephen, for passing through basic training. If you guys don't remember, Stephen Bradley joined the Army, and we wish him all congratulations. So it's good that he's now back with us, and he's graduating Thursday. And how's the WWE been since you've left? Garbage. That's all I gotta say about that. Sharor asks, have you ever watched Lucha Underground yet? If so, your feelings on it, you should. It was fucking amazing, man. It feels different than WWE. Oh, yeah, it's an alternative, so I hope it feels different than WWE. I watched Lucha Underground. Not really my cup of tea, because I like Lucha Libre wrestling, but I don't like Lucha Libre wrestling mixed with MMA underground fighting. Like, the fuck is this shit? The storylines are so fucking soap opera. I mean, it's just so fucking weird. It's all Mexican soap opera storylines mixed in with pro wrestling. Like, ugh. I mean, it's not bad. Like, there's some really good matches on Lucha Underground. It's definitely a good alternative. Like, I'm not saying, oh boy, Lucha Underground. Just for me, I don't think it's like something I'll watch on a week in and week out basis. I mean, I'll watch it if I want something different from the WWE, that's for sure, or TNA for that matter. Like, if I feel like, man, I'm not really getting a good quality from WWE this week or TNA, well, I don't even watch TNA anymore. But if I don't feel like I'm getting good enough quality from WWE and I just want something different, yeah, Lucha Underground would be my thing to watch. But really, to be honest, I recommend it to people out there who haven't seen it yet, just so that way they can form their own opinion on it. But for me, personally, it's a good alternative. Really, to be honest, I just am not really down with the whole mindset of beautiful lucha wrestling mixed with underground MMA. And also, I'm not down with women facing men. That's just weird to me. I know that's normal for a lot of independent wrestling fans, but to me, that shit is just fucking weird. It would be like if I was watching Raw, and then all of a sudden Paige came out, and then she had to fight Sheamus. Like, the fuck? So, that's just me, but it definitely has a nice feeling to it. I don't think I'll review it on my channel, just like I said, because it's not my cup of tea, and really I don't like the mixture of underground MMA fighting with Lucha Libre wrestling. But it's definitely something, if you haven't seen, I would suggest to check out episode 1, just for John Morrison versus Ricochet and the main event. I haven't really seen episode 2. I don't plan on reviewing it, like I said, but I definitely recommend it to someone out there who hasn't seen it. It's not bad, just know it's just not my cup of tea. I don't think it's bad whatsoever. I just don't really like what it's presenting. But it's definitely a good alternative if you're sick of seeing WWE stuff and TNA stuff. Lito Gino asked, did WWE drop the ball with Brodus Clay, a.k.a. Tyrus down TNA? Oh, yeah. They did, man. They dropped the ball with Brodus Clay. That dude should have been a big monster heel right now or a big monster babyface. I mean, it's like this guy has a lot of charisma for his size. This guy has, a pretty decent in-ring ability to him. I mean, how can you mess up someone that is just like 400 pounds and looks like he can destroy anything? He looks like a fucking tank. How can you just mess up a character like that? It's not that hard to book for someone like Brodus Clay. So really, to be honest, man, yes, they messed up on Brodus Clay. Ferris Kenny asked, what if Ryback and Scott Steiner formed a tag team and were called the Big Guys? I would love it. That'd be the best tag team. And I would ask the WWE to put the tag team titles on them ASAP. Bill Bradford asked, what if August 1st warning happened in your bedroom? What would be your reaction? Tito Ortiz. Laughter. Gemini S asks, got 2 questions for you. Oh, Gemini. 1 per person. No 2 questions. So I'll answer one of them. What are your thoughts on CM Punk riding Thor? Yeah, good for him. I mean, he's doing something he likes. He's a big fan of Marvel. I know he's a Thor fan because he's read some Thor in the past. He's had interest in writing in comics. He's talked about that before. So good for him. He's doing something at least productive with his life. Red Wolf 316 asks, what would wrestling be like today if WCW were to put WWF out of business? Dead. 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 Wrestling would be dead, like straight up. Like, we wouldn't have any major promotion whatsoever. WCW would have gone out in business around 2005, and then afterwards we would have to rely with TNA Impact to do shit. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, wrestling would be D-E-A-D, dead. Carson Lopez asks, how sad were you when you heard Eddie Guerrero had just passed away back in 2005, and how did you remember hearing about his death? Oh, wow, this is really timely, Carson Lopez. If you guys don't know, this Thursday will actually be, let's see, 2005, 9 years since we lost the late, great Eddie Guerrero. Like, holy fucking shit, does time fly by. 9 years since we lost Eddie Guerrero. How did I hear about Eddie's death, and how did I feel? Well, funny enough, November 13th, 2005, November 13th just in general, was my great-grandma's birthday. So I actually went to my great-grandma's house, and I had a great time. I picked oranges from trees. I hanged out with my cousins. My grandma got a new puppy, and I had a great time at this party. And so I didn't get home until 4:30 or 5 o'clock. I didn't get home till late. And I remember I was going to walk to my room. And my dad was like, "Oh, hey, son, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk to my room, Dad. I'm gonna go read the NFL.com, go on ESPN, go on WWE.com, see what I missed throughout the day." And my dad's like, "Oh, you should watch the football highlights with me." And it was weird because my dad was trying to keep me away from the computer, where he knows I can watch, video highlights on there. He's like, you don't. Let's just watch a football highlight. So I was kind of weirded out that my dad wanted to watch football highlights with me because that was something he didn't do whatsoever. So we watched some football highlights, and then all of a sudden on the sidebar it says Eddie Guerrero's dead on Sports Center, and I see it. I'm like, Dad, why? Why does it say Eddie Guerrero's dead? And then my dad's all like, "Oh shit," because he was trying to make me avoid from finding out that Eddie died because he's never been around me where one of my favorite wrestlers have died. And I was fucking crushed, dude. All of a sudden, I just sat there looking at that sideboard, waiting for Sports Center to fucking get down to Eddie Guerrero dead. And then all of a sudden, I saw it, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like, fuck. And then, I started crying and shit. And then I went into my room, and I went on WWE.com to see if this shit was true. And it was fucking true. It's plastered everywhere that Eddie's dead. And I was just... Oh, I was fucking heartbroken, man. I was just fucking heartbroken because here I was having a fucking great day, celebrating my great-grandma's fucking birthday, picking oranges from trees, hanging out with my cousins, finding out my grandma got a new puppy, and just enjoying life in general. And I get home, and one of my favorite wrestlers for me growing up, one of my Attitude Era dark horses, because remember, I told you guys before, my Attitude Era dark horses were Benoit Guerrero and D'Lo Brown. Hearing one of my dudes, Eddie Guerrero, died, that shit stunned. That shit hurt, and that shit sucked. It really, really did. So I was really heartbroken to hear when Eddie died, man. That's just the truth. And especially the way I like that my dad tried to protect me from hearing the news. But it was just kind of like, man, why couldn't you just let me read it? Why did I have to watch Sports Center and hear it from some random fuck that knows nothing about professional wrestling, Matt Gochi asks, who are a list of wrestlers that WWE dropped the ball on that you feel could have been main eventers, right? Main eventers right? Huh? Oh, well, list of wrestlers. I'll just go current. From 2007 to now, MVP, Mr. Kennedy, Matt Hardy at one degree could have been a really solid main eventer for the WWE. Definitely Ryback, Wade Barrett. Let's see, who else? The Miz. I feel like they've hurt The Miz big time. This guy could have been a great heel main eventer for you for many years. Now he's just a nobody. I'll even go Swagger, Jack Swagger, Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio to some degree. Even though Del Rio won a bunch of world titles, you gotta admit, they kind of fucked him up as a main eventer. So, yeah, those would be my guys for sure. Those would be the guys I think the WWE has fucked up on over the years of making guys who making main events. So, that's just me. The Gochi Man asks, if the IWC were around back in the Attitude Era, do you think guys like the Radicals, Chris Jericho, and Kurt Angle would have been internet favorites? Oh, fuck yeah. Kurt Angle would be the #1 favorite of the internet. They would love, what was that one pay-per-view? Unforgiven 01 where he beat Austin for the title. They would be like, yeah, fuck you, Steve Austin, you piece of buried shit. Oh, Kurt Angle. Jericho would be #2. Jericho winning the Undisputed title. Holy fucking shit. Can you imagine the internet exploded? Jericho just won the Undisputed title. Oh, the Radicals, minus Perry Saturn, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and Chris Benoit deserve world title shots right now. Oh, yeah, those are favorites. Good question, Gochi, man. Jake Loomis asks, why do most heels in the WWE have to be pussies? When I watch action movies, the villain never runs away from the hero. And I really don't understand we can't have any strong heels in the WWE anymore. Because the WWE believes that us Americans hate pussies, which is true, but we also hate people who are way too strong. It's like, let's take the Batman series, for example. Why did you hate Bane? You probably hated Bane because it just seemed like he was abusing his power. He was way too powerful, and no one could stop him. That's why you probably hated Bane. I mean, Bane just seemed like an asshole through and through in. But it was like, what could you do about it? You probably couldn't stop Bane. But if Bane was running away like a pussy in the sewers, wasn't really doing shit, wasn't abusing any of his powers or showing his strength, you'd be like, I would go in there and kick their ass. See, that's the problem with some of the heels today is like, you know, if I can believe I can kick that individual's ass, that's not a good heel. That's just the bottom line when it comes down to it. If I can believe I can go in there and literally kick the ass of the dude in the middle of the ring that I have no business in kicking their asses, that's how you know a heel is weak in today's wrestling. So I feel that's the problem with it's just that, like, you know, they just make them not believable. That's just the truth. So yeah, man, I agree. They need to make more strong heels. It's just because, you know, like the WWE thinks like us Americans, we hate pussies, and that's true. Snitches get stitches, and you know, we hate little bitches, but seriously, we need some strong heels that I'm fucking afraid of. I mean, that'd be just novelty concept. Reed 19 asks, what would WWE be like if the Ruthless Aggression era had been successful in creating new stars out of guys like Benjamin, Mr. Kennedy, MVP, Bobby Lashley, etc.? Oh, it'd be much more better. I mean, you would have much more depth in the main event scene, much more depth in the mid-card scene. You would definitely have more personal feuds that weren't for titles. Like that's one thing that's also missing in WWE. It's just personal feuds that are not for fucking titles. I mean, seriously, besides Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, can you think of a feud that was just like, oh, this was a personal feud without a title? Can you? Because I can't. I can't think of one out of my head. Maybe Cody Rhodes and Randy when Cody was like the IC champion facing Randy, but that wasn't even that good of a feud. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not enough personal feuds without, you know, titles, even mid-card belts on the line. It's just the truth. So, really, to be honest here, it would just have a lot of depth, and the Ruthless Aggression era would actually be known as a successful era. Now, how many of those guys would be major stars making millions of dollars for the WWE? I don't know. Would the WWE be better off? Oh, yeah, I think they'd be a lot better off. Joe Juicy asks, what is one thing you disagree about with good mic work about is John Cena defending? I don't really listen to that much of good mic work. I'm going to be honest here. I don't listen to that much good mic work. It's not nothing against the guy. I've heard some of his commentaries. He's definitely fucking smart. There's no denying it. There's nothing against the guy. I just don't listen to his stuff. I'm not a big good mic work fan. That's just me. Like, nothing against him. He's a very smart guy. I've listened to a couple of his commentaries here or there. But I'm just not always listening to everything he says. So I don't know what points he is making about John Cena. So that's just me. Mr. Juicy asks, what did you think of Undertaker crucifying people back in the symbol back in 2009 when he had the Ministry of Darkness gimmick? It was cool. I mean, it made Undertaker feel like more of a cult leader, devil advocate gimmick. I like a theme song. Wasn't my favorite Taker gimmick, that's for sure. I mean, it led to the American Badass, which sucked dick to me. You know, my favorite Taker is like the Dead Man, like fucking early Dead Man and later Dead Man. So really, to be honest, it was a cool, unique gimmick, but I didn't feel like it was the most successful gimmick. But he definitely talked a little bit more in that gimmick, and he definitely had a cool entrance scene with that gimmick. Jay Walker asked, what was the worst superhero movie you ever watched? Mine was Catwoman movie that came out in 2004. Catwoman is fucking bad. Electro. Ooh. That's fucking bad. X-Men The Last Stand. They made a whole movie to retcon that movie, man. That's how bad it is. Like, Days of Future Past, it not only is a great X-Men movie because it does a great thing with the X-Men, it's fun watching it, it has a great plot, great characters, and great writing. It's also a great fucking movie because it retconned that piece of shit known as X-Men The Last Stand. It got rid of any memory of that movie ever fucking existing. That movie ruined the Phoenix. I hate The Last Stand. And also Daredevil. The only good thing about Daredevil is the ending fight with Kingpin. But they made Bullseye such a pussy. Spider-Man 3 is also fucking bad. Oh, God. I could make a whole list of terrible superhero movies. Josh Chambers asks, who is the smarter YouTuber? The Schleg Daddy from OTRS or good mic work? I would say the Schleg Daddy. Because good mic work, he's smart. I'm not denying that. But Schleg Daddy, I just feel has so much years and of just knowledge of professional wrestling. Like, good mic work also has that, but I feel like Schleg Daddy, he's non-BS. He doesn't hold any punches. I feel good mic work, he could say a lot more points, but he's always sticking to his opinion and his beliefs, which I understand and completely agree with. But sometimes a Schleg Daddy, he says, fuck my opinion. I got to make this point, and I'm going to make it loud and clear. So definitely the Schleg Daddy for me. Slap Nuts 2000 asks, what if the Breakfast Club had a backstage segment where they're all playing board games called Who Has a Bigger Ego? It's like a card game, Cards Against Humanity. Who has a bigger ego? Who would you bury first? Ugh. I would love it. It'd be a fun little segment for the WWE. John Cool asks, what if you were at McDonald's filled with fat people and Scott Steiner just came in and yelled at yell fat asses to everybody and then just leaves. This. Yes. Fake Good Mike Work asked, what if John Cena and Randy Orton stripped down naked in the ring and passed baby oil on each other? What the fuck, Fake Good Mike Work? Come on. That'd be disgusting. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting to see how they apply baby oil, but fuck, man, that's just disgusting. Good comedy question, too. Final Limits asks, what if WWE repackaged Bray Wyatt with the new gimmick of a rapper like Cena was in 2003? How would the IWC react? You know the funny thing is, Final Limits? I joke around with some friends that I would make Bray Wyatt into Bray Dizzle. You just have Bray Wyatt come out like that. Yo, what's up? Hippin' and huppin' for the state of Louisiana. We are here. We are there. What's up? Bray Wyatt's here. Bray Dizzle. Bray Dizzle. The IWC would be pissed off about it. It would be terrible, man. And plus, Bray Wyatt looks nothing like a rapper, man. Bubblegum Flavored Stories asks, what if Ryback lost to Hornswoggle or the Bunny? How'd you react since you were a fan? I'd be pissed the fuck off. How do you think I would react? I'd make a rant video about that shit. Why is my boy, the big guy, Ryback, losing to the fucking Bunny? Even worse, Hornswoggle, who just ruins everything he touches. I love Watermelon525 asks, why do you give fitness advice? Since when were you a personal trainer? I don't know, people keep asking me for fitness advice, and I have years of experience in the fitness world from playing sports for a lot of my young life. So I think I know a thing or two about fitness. So I just give my advice of what works for me and my body type. So yeah, that's why I give fitness advice. Nintendo Fanboy 1998 asks, what if Warrior debuted in 2014 instead of the 80s in his prime? How would the IWC feel about him? Would guys like that asshole Deluxeman feel they would bitch and moan about his push being too quick like they did with Ryback in 2012? Oh yeah, people would bitch about it. But I would like the Warrior. I mean, Warrior's one of my favorite old school guys. So I would have no problem with the Ultimate Warrior getting pushed the way he was. I mean, he's actually a character. He's actually someone that looks and feels larger than life. Yeah, people would bitch and moan about it, but if the guy's selling merchandise and the guy is hot as hell, why would you complain? That's just me. So, honestly, I think it would work out well at the end of the day. But, yeah, people would still bitch and mourn. John Cooked asked, what if the final member of Team Cena was revealed to be... Tito Ortiz! Justin Side as one of Tito Ortiz was in the Rumble. How could anyone not love that fucking... Oh, Tito. I swear, everyone's not going to ask Tito Ortiz questions just because I laugh at it. One day I'll explain the reasoning. This Q&A is going way too long, so I can't explain the reasoning why I find Tito Ortiz's debut so funny. But one day I will explain why I think it's one of the funniest debuts of all time. But to answer both questions, I would laugh. And Little Fish asks a long question. He's asking questions about weightlifting. I need to do cardio and less weights, right? But I have muscles, and I'm not going to lose my muscles that I have been building for the last year if I stop lifting. I'm only in my 20s. Since you asked my age, do I wake up a bowl of cereal, Honey Oats, and not Kellogg cereal? Then I go to the gym and work out for 1 hour and a half. I do weights, and then I do cardio, and I do cardio days. On Wednesday, I usually do 70 to 80 minutes of cardio. On other days, I do 35 to 40 minutes after. Oh, yeah, no, I didn't say just do weights, just like drop weights completely. What I'm saying is, if you are going to try to lose weight, no heavy weights. You have to do lightweight workouts. You can't be doing heavyweight workouts. You can't be grabbing, 50 pounds and be like, okay, I'm going. No, you grab that 20 pound. It doesn't matter how muscle jacked you look, and you do more reps. That's pretty much what you need to do. You have to tone down your muscle. I mean, you won't lose any of your muscle, man. I mean, I still have my muscle, and I've gained weight. I've gained some fat over the years. So really, to be honest, it's just like, you still have your muscle. Muscle is more than fat. That's just the bottom line. Muscle is just more than fat when it comes down to it. So you'll still have your muscle. You may lose a little bit of it, but it's easier to gain back once you lose a lot of your excess fat, because then you can replace that fat with muscle. So yeah, those are my other advices. It's just that, like, still lift weights, but not too heavy weights. And make sure you're eating a bigger breakfast than Honey Oats and cereal, man. Like, when I mean big breakfast, dude, I mean a huge fucking breakfast. A breakfast that will make you want to puke before you're eating lunch. That's just my that's just my tips. And Jack Talking Dildo asks, how do you think Marcus Corval and Monty Brown would be today if he was still in the WWE? How would he be booked? At first, there would be hope that he would win the world title. But then all of a sudden, he would just still be the Marcus Corval gimmick that won't get fucking over whatsoever. So he'd be booked fine and all that other stuff in the beginning. But then, he'll just be booked like crap at the end of the day. So, really, to be honest, man, to answer your question in full honesty, he wouldn't be booked well today. At first, we would think he'd be booked well, in 2008 through 2009, but then once 2014, he'll be on Superstars, teaming with Titus O'Neil, doing some stupid shit. And Savvy Yes Man closes out this Q&A asking, how would you react if Scott Steiner appeared at the 2015 Royal Rumble? If I was just sitting here watching my damn network, and then all of a sudden I hear, wee, holla! If you hear me, I'll be, you would see me on Twitter just typing a bunch of fucking letters, and I'll just be pumped up. And if Scott Steiner does debut, it does make a return at the Royal Rumble, I hope all you motherfuckers tweet me that Scott Steiner return. Anyways, thank you all for sending questions for the Q&A. Yes, I'm sorry, it's really dark now. I just was like, fuck it, I gotta film the Q&A right now. And it was light when I was filming, and then it got slowly darker and darker and darker. Thank you all very much who sent in your questions. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all Friday with another Q&A, and hopefully tomorrow I can finally get this video that I've been trying to upload to get uploaded. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.